This is concept 8.1c, so it's the third time this concept's been on a video, and it won't show up now on another weekly test, but it will show up on the intervention test. The first step with something like this is exactly the first step if we were solving a two-step equation. We are going to add the opposite to both sides. So we're going to add negative 14 to cancel out the 14. We're canceling out this constant amount. We're leaving the x alone to start with, and we're canceling out the constant. This gives us 6x is greater than or equal to, since we have two negatives here, we're going to put these together. 28 and 14 makes 42, so we have 42 negatives. Our next step is going to be divide both sides by the constant, or excuse me, by the coefficient. Coefficient tells us how many x's we have, so we end up with x here greater than or equal to negative 7. A common mistake would be to flip this sign because of that negative. Remember, inequality signs, so let's write this on your test if you didn't. We discussed this when we corrected, but inequality signs only, double underline, only change direction when we divide or multiply by a negative. So when we divide or multiply by, again, triple underline, by a negative. It doesn't matter whether the number that we're dividing, in this case the 42, is a positive or a negative. It doesn't matter what that is. It matters what this is. It matters what we're dividing by. So we are going to have negative 7. We're going to put that on our number line. We're going to make sure we label correctly. Smaller negatives are bigger numbers. They move to the right. Bigger negatives are smaller numbers. They move to the left. And for this one, x is greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to means it could be negative 7. So we fill that negative 7 in, and we need the numbers that are greater than or equal to that. Our number line runs this direction. And a good check is to write the inequality above that number line and ask yourself, is negative 6 greater than or equal to negative 7? Yes, it is. Is negative 4 greater than or equal to negative 7? Yes, it is. The second problem that we're faced with is an inequality word problem. So let's break this down. Bob, and that shouldn't be a Bob's, it should be Bob. Bob wants to spend at most $100. That means the most Bob will spend is $100, which means his spending will be less than or equal to $100. He's not willing to spend more than that. He decides to rent a scooter for a day, and it costs $15 an hour. So $15 per hour. That's going to translate into 15 H. This H goes with that idea of per hour. Plus a $25 maintenance fee. So the $25 maintenance fee, notice it doesn't say a maintenance fee per hour, it's just a flat $25 maintenance fee. So our first step here, let's go ahead and bring our inequality down. They didn't give us a huge amount of room to work, but we'll make it happen. So less than or equal to 100. Step 1, get rid of the coefficient. So we're going to add a negative 25. Nice thing about these problems is you're not going to have negatives in here. You can't have negative hours. They wouldn't charge a negative maintenance fee. That'd be giving you money. They're not going to give you money to rent their scooter. So that leaves us with 15H less than or equal to 75. Divide by that coefficient, 15. Remember, coefficient check. Need to get a big 1 right there. Divide by that coefficient, and h is less than or equal to 5. So less than or equal to means it could be 5. We're going to put a solid here. Less than or equal to, it has to be the amounts that are less than. On this problem, however, we're going to stop right there. We're going to stop right here. We can't have negative hours. Nobody rents a scooter for -2 hours. Can't be done. We also aren't going to fill in the 0. Nobody rents a scooter for 0 hours. That'd be like walking into Bob, or Bob walking into the shop and saying, hey, guess what? I don't want to rent a scooter. I mean, actually, I do want to rent a scooter, but I want to rent it for 0 hours. Here's my $25 maintenance fee. Thanks a lot. You figure Bob didn't wear a helmet the last time he rode a scooter. He hit his head. He's making stupid decisions. Bob's not going to rent for 0 hours. So Bob's going to rent a scooter for some amount of time, up to and including 5 hours. All right, remember, this problem isn't going to be on the Week 11 test, but it will be on an intervention test. So there's still a good reason to study this video and ask questions if you don't understand.